What is going on, guys? Angelo here. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be checking out a video called The Babysitter Who Abused and Murdered a 1-Year-Old. Y'all already know who this one is by. It's by Anna Sauls. She does these awesome little documentaries. But if you're new around here, I'd love to have you stay. Just give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more content like this. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
When a Supreme Court judge who has probably seen everything describes a criminal as depraved,
Whoa,
you
her hair
know
is
that
crazy.
they have done something exceptionally awful. And the woman in this case definitely fits under that description, because someone who was trusted to look after a vulnerable minor ended up doing the most horrific things you can imagine. So hold on tight and let's investigate.
The mother got a text from the babysitter saying the baby had fallen during a trip to Manhattan.
Parents' worst nightmare.
On Sunday, February 21st, 2016, police and emergency services were called to a family's apartment in Concord, Staten Island. It was almost 10 p.m. and they were trying to save the life of a minor who was barely old enough to walk. The minor's name was Anthony Delgado. They rushed him to Staten Island University Hospital North, where they did their best to save his life. He got there just a few minutes after the call, but unfortunately, the worst then happened. He passed away, apparently from cardiac arrest. Now, I can't even start to imagine how his parents were coping with that news, but there was something else that made it even more messed up.
The mother got a text from the babysitter saying the baby had fallen during a trip to Manhattan.
The kindest, sweetest little boy you ever want to meet.
Now, little Anthony's parents hadn't been with him for the entire weekend. His mom, Marta, was moving to a new apartment and had needed someone to watch him during the late February weekend. So she found a kind neighbor to take care of him. At least she thought they were. Doesn't sound like she had any idea of what would happen next.
She cared about her baby very much. All she cared about was, her baby.
Unfortunately, the woman she selected to look after little Anthony was Gloria Fields, and she didn't exactly come recommended locally. She had a bit of a sketchy reputation. One neighbor who knew her from before said,
"I didn't know her as a babysitter. She's not known for being no babysitter. Everyone that knows her knows that she's unstable, knows that she does."
However, on that awful February weekend, some red flags had begun to appear on Sunday morning. Worryingly, Anthony's mom had received a text that day from Gloria. She claimed that he had fallen while Gloria was out in Manhattan. But what the medical examiner's report revealed about poor little Anthony's last 3 days alive is the most shocking and upsetting part of this case. The medical examiner didn't take long to confirm that Anthony had injuries both inside and out. And there was exactly one person who could have done this to him. And you remember that red flag text message? He had been knocked unconscious by that point. So without having to look too far, the police immediately brought Gloria Fields and her boyfriend in for some hard questioning. At first, Gloria totally blamed her boyfriend, who'd been with her the entire weekend. I mean, I have questions too. Didn't he see what she was doing to Anthony? But after 40 hours of police interrogation, Gloria finally admitted the truth on video. After that, the detectives went out to grab her a slice of pizza. I suppose confessing to doing something that evil will make you hungry. The camera was still recording her in the room. Once they'd left, Gloria said, "Sorry, detectives," put her head on the interrogation table and started crying. But it's impossible to feel even a little bit sorry for her. On March 25th, 2016, Gloria got charged with aggravated and first and second degree manslaughter, assault, criminal weapon possession. Oh, and let's not forget about the child endangerment, all of which she denied any guilt for at first. The red flags in retrospect just kept piling up. Gloria already had 9 prior arrests, while the boyfriend had 25. She'd been using and smoking throughout that awful weekend. If her boyfriend didn't see what she was up to, perhaps he was just too stoned to even care. Basically, neither of them should have been anywhere near Anthony that weekend. Gloria didn't just do this to him while hidden away in the apartment either. It also happened out in public, including at a used clothing store called Buffalo Exchange. A horrible incident with a crayon continued out here. There was even footage. But I guess no one who might have seen this happen took any action. It sounds like it was at least reported to authorities in the end, but by then it was far too late to help him. The charges described what she did as especially cruel and wanton, and that she was intending to inflicting torture. Ugh! What she did was so messed up that Gloria's attorney even seriously considered using an insanity defense plea. In an insanity defense, the defendant admits the action but asserts a lack of culpability based on mental illness. This basically means that a criminal hadn't been aware of what they were doing when they broke the law. And usually it only counts if it was for a brief moment. However, insanity is really not used as often as movies and TV make it seem. In fact, it only ever comes up in like 1% of court cases in the USA. And in Gloria's case, insanity just didn't stick. So even though what she did is totally abnormal and wrong, her defense team finally decided against using it. I think it came up because in her interview with police, Gloria claimed, "I just blacked out. I was off my meds. I swear I'm not a bad person."
Off your meds?
Basically, if being off her meds made her this dangerous, there's no way she should have been anywhere near a minor, let alone looking after it. I want to remind you that there are plenty of people with mental health issues who do function in real life. But I don't think that the very illegal narcotics she was getting high on during her babysitting weekend from hell really helped to keep her stable. Do you? I'd say that they even made things worse. It's amazing poor Anthony had even lasted almost 3 days with someone as sick as her. All the same, Gloria's defense tried to make it out that the police had mistreated her during the interrogation. The defense claimed that was why Gloria had confessed everything. And well, sure,
they gave her a
rough
slice of
interrogations are definitely not unheard of, but the judge didn't believe a word of those accusations against the cops. So the trial was going to go ahead, and the family and the detectives were determined to make sure Gloria didn't get away with a single horrible thing she did. When the case first went to court at the end of February 2016, people were furious. Gloria was yelled at and attacked during a break in this early hearing. But everyone would have to wait until early 2018 before the full hearing and sentencing went ahead. Now, I don't know how they didn't just drag her there, but she actually refused to enter the courtroom if she was going to be filmed.
To me, that was being like a coward. You wouldn't face the people who you've affected.
And the whole family was there to make sure little Anthony got the justice he deserved. But the details of the case were extremely harrowing, and for most of Anthony's family, it was the first time they learned exactly what she did to him. Because what she did was really unspeakable, apart from the blunt force trauma, which means his head and of course ending his life, she used objects
she has to
him,
bleep
which
that stuff
caused
out for
internal
YouTube, yo.
injuries. She did just about the most twisted stuff you can imagine, and poor Anthony was totally defenseless. Honestly, you probably don't want to learn about it in any more detail, because this is among the most disturbing cases I've ever read. No decent person would expect anyone to be capable of doing something like that to anyone. Anthony's grandfather, Roger Simpson, learned what happened for the first time at the 2018 hearing.
Wow, I just wanted to break down. I wanted to break down because I had no idea that all of that took place.
Frankly, none of it could have been very easy to listen to.
She needs to be punished for what she's done. You can't do this.
Drugs, man.
If you've already heard what Gloria did, you might be wondering, if she wasn't insane, then why would she do any of that? Well, don't forget, she was getting the time, and there is some explanation for it. It's not a reason or an excuse, but a possible, very disturbing motive came up during the trial. The court played a video that detectives recorded while interrogating Gloria. Remember that she only started to tell the truth about 40 hours after her arrest? On that confession video, she told the investigators that, "I really didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted to inflict some pain on something else because I was in pain. I didn't know he was going to die. That intention did not cross my mind. I take responsibility. I am sorry."
Wow.
That is totally chilling and kinda unbelievable. Poor little Anthony. The reports also say that Gloria was angry about losing custody of her own offspring after Geraldo's grandmother had reported her to the authorities. The idea that she has kids of her own makes this whole thing very scary, doesn't
even
it?
make sense. I just have to pause really quick. This is why you need to watch who's in control of like your child and whatnot. Like, I don't have kids. 22, no kids. You already know what it is. My other question is, where was the baby daddy? Obviously, he might not have been in there, but out of all the people in this world, that a good caretaker And she chose, I don't know, man. It's just, it's crazy though. And they said she wanted to go to like a party or something to go out for the weekend or whatever. All right, let's just get back to the video.
After that really harrowing trial, it really wasn't that surprising what happened next. Gloria Fields got 23 years to life, which was exactly the sort of judgment that Anthony's family were looking for.
The family applauded it.
Oh, and if that prison stretch sounds a little short to you, I mean, it might be when you first hear it for sure. But get this, Gloria will only be up for parole after serving those 23 years minimum. So her prison term could last even longer than that, which I personally consider a totally good thing. What she did was so unforgivable.
Parole thing's
I wonder
gotta stop
if she'll
though.
ever make it out of prison in one piece. The Supreme Court judge at the trial, Wayne Grizzle, really seemed to get how messed up she is. He said this before delivering the sentence.
This is the most disturbing case I've ever presided over. I was watching you as Mr. Delgado gave his statement. You showed no emotion.
Gloria never spoke to Anthony's family once, at any point. Not even as some last words during her sentence.
Dang.
Not even to apologize or take some real responsibility in person.
I would never be able to buy Anthony another bag of cheese doodles. I do not understand in what world it might be acceptable to ever allow an individual who not only, I'm just gonna end that there, I can't read that part.
But his uncle was relieved and stated,
This was served, Anthony got justice, and that's all that matters to us.
we don't know exactly why someone so unstable was left to care for Anthony. We know that she lived downstairs, and they probably thought she was a helpful neighbor, even if Gloria's own child had been taken away. But it doesn't seem likely that they thought she was a threat, otherwise they wouldn't have left him with her for the whole weekend, right? So it's totally not fair to AT, Anthony's mom, like in some Facebook comments I've seen, because we just don't know what their family situation was. And it's pretty telling that the parents weren't charged for anything either. One commenter said, "This mother will have to live with her decision for the rest of her life. She may have been friends with this woman. Nobody knows the full circumstances and should not judge the mother. She will suffer the rest of her days." Like I keep saying, you wouldn't expect anyone, especially a family friend, to do that to such a sweetheart. So I hope he can at least rest in peace and fly high now. I'm just glad that Gloria Fields is never getting anywhere near another vulnerable minor for at least a quarter of a century. Well, we can only hope it's going to be like way longer than that, right? So what do you think about this case?
This is why my friend circle is very tiny, guys, because of stuff like this. If I ever had a kid, first of all, it would definitely have to be through marriage. There's no way we doing that baby out of wedlock. You know, that can't happen. But it just goes to show you need to make sure not just that you're trusting that person, but also that you're doing research on the person who's going to be taking care of the child. Like they said, that decision that she made to go out for that weekend, she could have just stayed home and nothing would have ever happened. She's going to legit have to think about that for the rest of her life, that she allowed this person to, you know, take care of. You know, she probably is not going to want to have a child again, but we don't really know the circumstances of what all, you know, she was going through at that time. Luckily, justice was served on this case. Let me know what you all think of it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them. Thank you all for watching once again. Thank God for allowing me to have this platform and just share it with you all. And until next time, peace out.